I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
Big, stop.
That lawnmower, that's it. Does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch.
Lamont Roach seems to be feeling the pressure after Gervonta Davis's latest training footage went viral, admitting he was shaken by what he saw. Roach confessed he'll need to dig deeper and train with more urgency this time around. He acknowledged Davis's strong showing in their first meeting, calling him a dangerous fighter who landed the most devastating punch of the night.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying, I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
One of the most debated moments of the first fight came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee, and the referee ruled it a slip instead of a knockdown. That call sparked widespread controversy and calls for a clearer outcome. This rematch is now more than a fight, it's a chance to settle unfinished business and deliver a result free of officiating drama.
Hold on to the bed. Stop.
That lawnmower, that's it. Stop that motherfucker.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute. So I feel as though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
Henry Garcia offered another angle, suggesting Davis may have been mentally unfocused during the first fight. The absence of longtime trainer Calvin Ford likely disrupted his rhythm, and Garcia hinted at offering distractions that could have played a role for the rematch. Davis must be locked in mentally and physically if he's to return to form.
Stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning. Keep turning. Step around. Keep turning.
Davis's trainer revealed they went into the first bout fully aware of Roach's strengths. Their strategy was intentional, though it fell short in execution. Interestingly, they don't plan to overhaul their approach for the rematch. Instead, they'll fine-tune what's already there, suggesting confidence in their original plan, just with sharper execution. The first fight with Roach proved to be one of the toughest of Davis's career. Roach didn't just survive, he competed at a world-class level, presenting timing and range issues that Davis struggled with. The rematch will be a test. Can Davis adjust, or does Roach have his number?
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly closes those gaps, you know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Teofimo Lopez reflected on how the draw affected Davis, suggesting it felt like the boxing world abandoned him afterward. The results sparked doubts and whispers that Davis was losing his edge. Now, Davis finds himself fighting not just Roach, but also public perception. The rematch is a chance to change that narrative and restore faith in his dominance.
That people want to discredit Tank. He's still a pound for pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Davis isn't just looking to beat Roach, he's aiming for a statement win. This fight is about redemption, legacy, and respect. He wants to leave no doubt that he's still the man to beat, and that the first fight was merely a stumble, not a sign of decline.
Because Gervonta Davis is a puncher, so the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get my pushback. And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other, they fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20 to 1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the DC area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought most of his career.
Jaron Ennis weighed in on the first fight, noting that Davis actually controlled the early rounds, something many fans seem to overlook. He emphasized that public discourse has focused more on Davis's image than his in-ring work. For Davis, this rematch isn't just about settling a score, it's personal. The draw hurt his pride and reputation, and he's training harder than ever to erase the doubt and reclaim his place among boxing's elite.
You know, I gotta ask you about fights. Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. You know, I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. You know, I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. You know, and I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. You know, but Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job. You know,
yeah. Some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah. And I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. You know, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating them and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. He looked sharp to me. And I don't know, people just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
What makes Davis truly dangerous is his knockout power, while others depend on volume or technique. Davis can end fights with one clean shot. He doesn't force exchanges, he waits for his moment. In contrast, Roach showed skill and discipline in their first meeting, but lacks that same explosive power. Many believe that once Davis finds his rhythm in the rematch, Roach won't be able to withstand the pressure.
We gotta talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already known, but the fact that he went toe to toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at them like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, got all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
Despite the controversial draw in their first meeting, Rolly Romero remains firmly in Davis's corner. He still ranks Davis as one of the sport's pound-for-pound elites and chalks the result up to a single bad night. Romero insists Davis's body of work, knockout power, and resume still set him apart, and believes the rematch will remind fans why Davis belongs at the top.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas has often praised Davis's rare skill set. He admires Tank's poise under pressure, his refusal to rush, and his ability to read opponents before striking with precision. What sets Davis apart, according to Atlas, is his adaptability, whether fighting at close range from the outside or mid-distance. Davis brings the power to end fights at any moment. That unpredictability makes him a nightmare to prepare for.
Most notably, I'll just speak about a fight that, we just had with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hair band in his face or his eyes, so on, and burned his eyes. And, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people were saying it was rigged, all these different things, so forth and so on. Whatever it may be. The fight is over.
Beyond technique, Davis is unleashing raw aggression in one clip. He's seen pummeling the heavy bag with ferocity, every punch carrying intent and fury. This isn't just another fight, it's personal, with criticism swirling after the first. Bout's inconclusive ending. Davis is training like a man on a mission, not just to win, but to dominate decisively.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise.
Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a neutral zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Davis is approaching this rematch with laser focus. His training camp is intense and purposeful, with footage showing him gliding effortlessly during sparring. Sharp in footwork and precise in execution, every movement is calculated. The first fight taught him a valuable lesson. Underestimating Roach could be costly. This time, he's aiming to be sharper, faster, and more prepared than ever before.
There's no way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. His age is catching up to him. His legs aren't there as he used to be, and he switched his trainer. That's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know, but I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, but hey, Lamont Roach stood his ground and he did a great job.
Gervonta Davis is going all out in preparation for the rematch, driven to silence his critics and prove he's still an elite force. He's training with relentless focus. Determined to correct past errors, Davis is pushing himself beyond previous limits to deliver a performance that leaves no doubt about his dominance.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. And look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm going to let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take in consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag. Go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But, man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real. Because this, be real, man.